So as you know, every week we've been growing more people. Um, the donations have been amazing. I always want to start with that because as the week goes on, we see these donations, $5, $10, and it just makes us realize like how valuable that this programming is, how valuable having contemporary poets perform is in general in a big way. We definitely want to continue this program. So your donations and your new memberships too, we've gotten a lot of new members just within the past month or two. Amazing. Thank you so much. And we're going to continue these programs. We're still plotting it out a little bit. Again, creative ideas, we always want to hear more from our audience, so please feel free to always share that with us. events@waltwhitman.org. You can always contact me. Our email list too, it's kind of difficult to like remember to go to the website necessarily and sign up for it. But what happens is you'll get all of the upcoming events right in your email box. So you can always email me and tell me that you want to be added to that list and I will add you right away. All right. So this week, we're so excited. We have the whole family here. We had Terri one week, then we had Matt the following week, and now we have the whole group. And this is their creative solution to the quarantine. While everyone's sort of feeling down in the beginning, they just came up like a phoenix and started their own collaborative efforts to bring people together, to share joy with many families, many individuals that might be alone right now. So as soon as I saw it, I said, we have to have this as part of our programming. So we're so lucky to have them 3 weeks in a row, which I feel like I'm losing a coworker or a few coworkers at one time. And Terri has been amazing. She's always sharing the links and things like that for us. So we're just so happy to be promoting them, to be promoting contemporary poets. So we're going to continue doing that. This is also our first musical performance that we've had on Zoom. And that's so exciting because we have Rainer and Atticus with us to do that. And I want to talk a little bit about Whitman's relationship with music, because when he was in his 20s, he despised the opera. He thought it was just for upper class people. He would not go near an opera. He wrote articles about how he wouldn't go to the opera. Then in his early 30s, when he starts writing Leaves of Grass, which would be his most famous writing that he ever made, he finally agreed, someone must have dragged him there, to go to the opera. And once he was there, he couldn't get enough of it. There was one singer in particular that he loved, and he saw her over 50 times within a year or two. Like, he just kept going back. And in Leaves of Grass, the word sing or song is used over 150 times. So you have to imagine that he's really taking a lot of influence from that artistically, because all of the arts really mesh well together. They can inspire new things. And you have to imagine at that time too, you can't just, get a CD, get an MP3 of something. It's always live music. So that would be a very difficult way to have to access music. We also know that he hummed a lot to himself when he was making edits to Leaves of Grass. He would stand there at the printer, and it's like a big printing press, and he would be adding more lines to some of the poems or taking some away up until the very last minute that it was printed. And he would just hum and have this sense of urgency because he had just had so much he wanted to share in a very specific way with everyone. And again, everyone, he wanted art to be accessible to the masses, and he always included them in his poems. So there's a lot of, bringing people into the poems, bringing contemporary life for him at that time into these poems. And then the last thing I want to share before we get started, and I'll tell you more about events later on in the program, but Whitman's 201st birthday is May 31st. It's coming up very soon. We usually have a lot of events. We have a few events for it this year that we were able to bring online, but we're super excited about that. That means that the house that he was born in, that is our museum, has been there for 204 years. So it's pretty impressive. Whitman's father built the house. So obviously he did a very good job. We still have it there today. But without further ado, thank you so much to the Pasca Muss family for being here, and we're going to give them the spotlight right now. Hello.
Hi. So we're a little backlit today. I'm sorry. This is the way we rehearsed, and now the light is not our friend. But hopefully it will go down as we perform. So we are not musicians by trade, except for Atticus in the back. Atticus is 11 and a half. It's almost 12. He's a percussionist. He's been playing since he was 2 and a half. Rainer is a rapper and a poet and a vocalist who taught himself the piano. Matt taught himself guitar. And I'm really an actor and a poet who kind of sings sometimes. And Matt was in a gospel choir. He was the only white dude in a gospel choir in college. So we're just here to kind of explore the idea that moving artistically outside of your comfort zone enriches you as a person and as an artist, so that it makes you better at all of your artistic endeavors, and that you need risk-taking to be a good artist. And so we started these shows to first make people feel connected to each other, and second to say, do something risky, do something that's outside of your comfort zone, do something that you would think is not the thing that's your vocation, and try it out. What's the worst that can happen? And so with that, we're gonna give you some of our best of from our last 9 weeks of isolation shows. So our first one is gonna be an amazing Talking Head song. So let's get ready to burn down the house.
Oh, watch out! You might get what you're after. Cool babies, strange but not a stranger. I'm an ordinary guy, burning down the house. Hold tight, wait till the party's over. Hold tight, we're in the nasty weather. There has got to be a way. Burning down the house. Here's your ticket, pack your bag, time for jumping overboard. Transportation is here. Close enough but not too far. Maybe you know where you are. Starting fire with fire. All wet. Hey, you might need a raincoat. Shake down. Dreams walking in broad daylight. 365 degrees. Burning down the house. It was once upon a place. Sometimes I listen to myself. Can I come in first place? People on their way to work. Baby, what did you expect? Got a mask in a fake. Burning down the house. My house is out of the ordinary. That's right. Don't wanna hurt nobody. Something sure can sweep me off my feet. Burning down the house. No visible means of support, and you have not seen nothing yet. Everything's stuck together. I don't know what you expect. Staring into the TV set. Burning fire with fire. Burning down the house. We are the Pasca Muse family, and this is the best of our isolation shows. I want to thank the Walt Whitman Birthplace Association for having us. We are here, Isolation Show Greatest Hits, and we are burning down the house.
All right, I see your applause. You gotta keep Matt's head right in the sun. Just keep it right in the sun.
How?
Next up, we're gonna have Rainer. He's a poet, and he's gonna read some poetry for you. He's gonna read one piece for you. Our isolation shows are kind of a mixed bag of music and poetry and presidential facts and geography lessons. So without further ado, give it up for Rainer.
Hey guys. So this is a poem called "You Might Be." Oh. As I said, this is a poem called "You Might Be." If raindrops dripping from your fingertips twirl into the negative space between ink blots, you might be a poet. If the stars look up to your purple soul thrown into dirt like my glowing pen that betrayed the world and took a breath, you might be a poet. If you bite off everything that you can chew while knowing that you can still escape before your pages read themselves, you might just be a poet. And if you can dissolve into yes without opposition catching up, if you can conjure in ashes with a snapshot after you're gone, and if you're just blankly blending in with nature's ocean, you are a poet.
All right, we're gonna take a trip with our laptop over to the drums. My drummer boy is gonna do a little something for you. Stay with us. All right, you're here with Atticus. He's going to sing and play the drums at the same time, which is not an easy thing to do, to sing and play. So give it up for Atticus Muuss.
So hello.
As you can tell, it's very loud in here. So we protect our ears. We have a lot of ear protection. All right, so next up, I did say that Rainer, my son Rainer, is a rapper and a poet. He has a new album that's going to be coming out, when, Rainer?
July 3rd.
July 3rd, and it's called Same Difference. And this is one of the tracks on that. It's called Soft Serve. And it's kind of an introduction to who he is. So give it up for Rainer. You might want to stand out light into.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there you go. All right. So give it up for Rainer with Soft Serve.
Another bang, all tied up on a plane, set straight for outer space. Hold up, give me some space to grab on, push upon that mountain, rich that pour down like a fountain. Gifting you resolve, all serve, and yes, I'm cold like. Swear I don't know what it is, I got the apparatus shooting so high up in the stratosphere. Sky is clear and time is near to time it here. Like a sphere, I go round and round until I can't see clear. I think I hear something, now it's nothing. Hold up, check my ear, cause I got going on shit. I can't handle you with 2 hands and a handle too. Put a band-aid on that boo boo boo. You put a candle out to your hands. You don't wanna mess with this lyric finesse. You can't even do that fake rap too. That's the real shit. You might understand this. Still stand under me. It's true. I'm racing Paul, going far, all open as a mason jar. Man, I feel so lyrical. Make sure this kill ain't cereal. It's only the homie that carry on my me a rapid and show. See, I'm going to a show and get him lonely, and I guess that's just a new way to hold me. And I like holding on to thoughts that roam me, and then I forget like Anna. Show me you even came out of my right, but just voting for overs are the only way to control me. Now let me introduce myself. I know you heard the beat and the fire I brought into the world, and you should know I'm in a race where my car swerves, and you should know me by now. I'm cold like soft serve. Possibly the only way I'll ever see the light of days, but just let go and right away and fight from a allergic fight of day. Dig me out of a hole and swerve and let me know how things occur, and let me try and find the nerve. Yes, I'm cold like soft serve. Let me introduce myself. I know you heard the beat and the fire I brought into the world, and you should know I'm in a race where my car swerves, and you should know me by now. I'm cold like soft serve. So yes, I'm cold like soft serve. Someone's all up and not your butterflies from some can't go nowhere. I promise you, stay right there like you swallow down in the deep dark glare. And kill beauty right then and there. Seriously fast paced, the money like hair, like an angel. What's it? Got a new tear. I'm barrier. There's something carrier that's yelling barrier. That analogy. So I'm married and you can try when it comes to screaming marry her. And all over the area, there's a breeze and it feels scarier than the coldest. Not bring a Mary of the dictionary. There's a race there that I got surfing in soft earth. Pop emerge from the water like a Poseidon, and the land is hurt. See that wordplay, but it's an order for my main message. Really don't hurt other people if they just don't deserve it. And honestly, they deserve the world. Don't take the words I'm looking for. Cause I'm gonna tell you straight up that I'm not curved. And the way you say things just don't hurt. Me, I'm immortal, and I'm a shot curve at your heart. It's not good, but I won't sleep. Cause I'm not tired and I'm hungry like a spotted cheetah, but I'm not a genie. I'm not swerving on the rails. I'm cold like salt.
Wow, that's a lot of words. All right, come back with us over here. I hope you're still with us. I hope you can still hear us. Everybody still with us? They can still hear us? Yes? All right. So Matt and I are going to do a little something for you. We were 80s kids. We grew up in the 80s. How many of you are 80s kids? If you grew up in the 80s and you listened to all 80s music and you wore neon, or you were a goth, or you were one of those kids, raise your hands. Hi, Anu, I know you are. So we're gonna do a song. We're gonna kind of reimagine a song that we really loved when we were kids by the Culture Club. So I hope you like that.
There's a loving in your eyes all the way. If I listen to your lies, would you say
I'm a man without conviction. I'm a man who doesn't know how to sell the contradiction. You come and go. You come and go. Come a chameleon. You come and go. You come and go. Loving would be easy if your colors were like my dream. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
didn't you hear wicked words every day? And you used to be so sweet, I heard you say
That my love was an addiction. When we cling, our love is strong. When you go, you're gone forever. You string along, you string along. Come a chameleon. You come and go, you come and go. Loving would be easy if your colors were like my dreams. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
every day is like survival.
Survival.
You're my lover, not my rival. Every day is like survival.
Survival.
You're my lover,
Not my rival.
I'm a
Man without conviction. I'm a man who doesn't know how to sell the contradiction. You come and go. You come and go. Come a chameleon. You come and go. You come and go. Loving would be easy if your colors were like my dream. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Come a chameleon. You come and go. You come and go. Loving would be easy if your colors were like my dream. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Come a chameleon.
Sing with us.
You come and go. You come and go. Loving would be easy if your colors were like my dream. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. I think Boy George was underrated, honestly. So and next up, we've got my fabulous poet husband, Matt Pasca. You might have heard him last week here at the Birthplace doing a full reading. Today's is going to give you a little taster of one of his poems. So give it up for the amazing Matt Pasca.
Well, hello. I'm just going to read a short piece. This is an instructional piece inspired by the claim that Your wedding day is supposed to be the best day of your life, which I think is completely a terrible attitude because that means it's all downhill from there. So this is called How to Newlywed Forever.
Mhm.
When she doesn't text you back, assume her battery died, or she is offering someone a shoulder, a mantra, a resource, a pair of shoes. When she doesn't want to cancel plans but is a hollow twinging nerve, cancel them for her. Put on tea, give her dark chocolate, Cheetos, ask what you can do. If she answers, listen. When she mixes apple cider vinegar and juice for encroaching ills, thank her. When she snips the boys' nails as they tantrum, thank her. When she slams out a gourmet meal at midnight in her underwear, licking chili sauce from a spoon, thank her.
Oh,
Eat, even if you're full. When someone calls her your ball and chain, set them straight. Tell them she is the view that makes every climb bearable. Hold her hand like your palm is made of fern, your feet willow roots, your heartbeat a monkey howling through calabash night. Master the dishes, fill calendars with diamonds, lock eyes under turreted moonlight. When they say you are codependent, adjust their prefix to inter. Show them the pothole yourself used to fit in, the sweeping sky that holds you now. But to really do this right, you must make peace with impermanence. Only in death's eventual light does every dusk feel like victory. When she holds your face between her hands and says, you are not broken, that you are the kind of unbroken she has always needed, believe her, always believe her.
Well, I have to unmute to clap for that. Oh my God.
So if you're not on mute, mute yourself only because we're hearing you as we perform, which is hard. But we love you. Next up, we're going to be doing a song because Rainer has become obsessed with Queen. I think people should be obsessed with Queen and Freddie Mercury. So we're going to be doing a Queen song for you all. God help us. But we love him, so hopefully we do Queen justice.
Hey. All right. All right. So this is one of my favorite Queen songs, and here we go. Can anybody find me somebody to love? Each morning I get up, I die a little, can barely stand on my feet. Take a look in the mirror and cry, Lord, what you doing to me? I spend all my years and believe in you, but I just can't get no relief. Lord, somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love? I work hard. He works hard every day of my life. I work till I ache my bones. At the end of the day, I take home my hard-earned pay all on my own. I get down on my knees and I start to pray till the tears run down from my eyes. Lord, somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love? He works hard every day. I try and I try and I try, but everybody wants to put me down. They say I'm going crazy. They say I got a lot of water in my brain. I got no common sense. I got nobody left to believe. Yeah. Oh, somebody, Somebody. Can anybody find me? Somebody. Got no fear, I got no rhythm. I just keep losing my beat. I'm okay. I'm alright. He's alright. Ain't gonna face no defeat. I just gotta get out of this prison cell. Someday I am gonna be free.
Find me somebody to love. Find me somebody to love.
Find me somebody to love. Find me somebody to love. Find me somebody to love. Find me somebody to love. Find me somebody to love.
Can anybody find me somebody to love?
How about those high Freddie Mercury notes? I mean, really. Somewhere over here is my home. Where it is. All right, here it is. So are you still with us? You enjoying this? Give me a clap or a thumbs up if you're still here with us, hearing everything. So I'm going to do a poem for you. It's not in my new book. Some things don't fit in your books, but that's okay. This is a poem called Literally Speaking, and it's written in Rainer's voice. He was diagnosed on the spectrum, being on the spectrum. Asperger's was his diagnosis back when that was a thing. They no longer have that in the DSM-5, but being a mom of somebody who I think of on a daily basis as a superpower, but yet who sees things in a way that people don't always understand. This poem is about that. And Rainer gave me permission to speak from his voice. So imagine this is coming from Rainer. I am 7 in this bent photograph on a corner section of blue and yellow blanket next to the glistening right arm of my younger brother. He is half in and out of the picture, as he was most conversations before deeper understanding. I know if I look up at my mother taking the picture, the sun will cut into my eyes and make the blue twist into a knot of bee stings. And so I keep staring at Rex, the French bulldog on the blanket in front of me, even when she calls my name to smile. Most days looking directly into pupils sends knife points down behind the spaces in my cornea, so I don't gaze precisely at anyone. I can stare at Rex because I can hear him speaking to me, his back legs splayed behind him like miniature antlers, his tongue wet and cold and soft like the insides of a razor clam. Rex, the dog, stares squarely at me, and I know I understand him better than I do my brother sitting next to me, my mother taking the picture, or any other humans surrounding the blanket on the grass at a food festival in Queens on a late July evening. Rex says, "We think differently," and then they try, but they really can't understand us. And I nod. I marvel at how confusing it always is, my brain on overload, trying to decipher things neurotypicals would say, but not really mean, in ways that they didn't want taken, in ways that they expressly said. My brain, free of half-truths and sarcasm, lock with Rex's, the French bulldog from Brooklyn, and not at all really from France, and I tell him, we are the same. We say what we mean and we move how it feels right to, and why can't other people see that? Once I rode a horse called Pimiento across a Panamanian plain at sunset. I'd never been on a horse before, but I knew horses are honest. They can't lie, and neither can I. And so we flew together over grass and rock and down a mountain of scattered yellow flowers. And Pimiento would say, "It's good to have somebody who hears." And I would say it back, "It only takes real listening." And then the sun dripped down the Sierra Grande into shadows below wide swaths of clouds. And the sun fell down into the swath of blue and yellow blanket in Queens with Rex. And the sun always slides down into the swath of my mind, the cosmos between my synapses, buffering and refreshing, flowing and consolidating, the way things really are. So I think that we have to leave space in the world for people who think differently than us and see the world differently than us. Certainly as a mom of a boy who the world likes to label, but I think is a superhero, that's taught me that. So our next piece is our last poem, and then we're gonna take a Q&A, and maybe we'll do an encore later. And it's a song by the Bare Naked Ladies, they're an amazing band, look them up. But Matt tweaked the lyrics, and we also adjusted the song for inflation. So it used to be if I had $1 million, this is if I had $1 billion, because we're gonna need $1 billion to do the things we wanna do. All right.
If I had $1 billion, if I had $1 billion, I had $1 billion. Need you say if I had $1 billion, I'd see crouching into my room. If I had $1 billion, you speak time to me or through. If I had $1 billion, oh yeah, because I still go over to talk about what an idiot our president is.
Yeah, and how he encourages other people to gather in groups and not listen to science.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should do that. That would be
if I had $1 billion, I'd be oh yes, the real good day. So if I had $1 billion, if I had $1 billion, I'd put an organization, site for the birthplace association. If I had $1 billion, if I had $1 billion, I'd buy shit that's occupied. Oh, them hard to get deliveries on. And if I had $1 billion, I'd keep you safe. I had $1 billion. If I had $1 billion, I'd make sure no one got COVID. If I had $1 billion, I'd
And lighten their day with pictures of their banana bread.
yes, all the banana bread, and we also let them see all their pictures of their favorite albums from the 80s.
And brighten their days with Carol Baskin memes.
Ooh, that would be fun. We should do that.
And if I had $1 billion, I would then go you some cash, not pay for the IRS. That's cool. And if I had $1 billion, if I had $1 billion, I'd make the book and stay free like it was Tom Hanks in Australia. And if I had
do an encore later if you want, but we'd love to hear your questions. We're really deeply interested in this kind of notion of teaching our kids to think outside of the box, to take risks artistically. So any questions you have for us with regard to that, we'd love to hear from you.
I'm going to come back for 1 second so everyone has a minute to think of their questions.
Yes.
I'm just going to plug some events that we have coming up soon. All right, so think about your questions. And while you're doing that, I was thinking it would be a really fun little exercise for everyone to share with us like what you would consider your spirit animal. I saw this in another webinar and I just thought it was so nice to have like everyone sort of share something that's a little bit personal but like really creative. So think about that too. I was thinking, I think I would be a faster animal usually, but right now I feel kind of like a slower, maybe like not quite a sloth, but more of like a turtle or something, just because I'm like spending a lot of my time sort of lying around rather than going out and doing as much as usual. Thank you so much. That was amazing. I mean, everybody unmute yourself. It's time for that, so we can give them a big round of applause. Give everyone a second. All right.
Hooray! I love that.
Talented people.
She got it though.
Absolutely amazing. Again, I just want to tell you about our upcoming events, and we're always thinking of more events that we want. Again, you can always email me, Caitlin, events, plural, at waltwhitman.org. Creative ideas welcome, and we love to always hear feedback from everyone. So next week is Walt Whitman's 201st birthday, and we have Juan Felipe Herrera, who is a wonderful poet. He's an international poet, and he was the first poet laureate for the US that was Hispanic in history. So he's amazing. He does a lot of activism. He's very involved in many communities. And if you're interested in a workshop with him, starting at $10 or $5 if you're a member, you can join that workshop with us. And he's really just a joyful person. He reminds me of Whitman a lot because he's very inventive with the way that he writes as well. So it's just this very fresh approach to poetry. So definitely check that out. Then later that day, also May 30th at 6:30 p.m., we will have Juan joining us for a free poetry reading at 6:30. So you definitely want to check that out too. And everybody is welcome to come to that totally free. And then the following week, again, we're changing it up. We're not always Thursdays anymore, so I know it's hard to follow a little bit, but we'll have Walking with Whitman with Bertha Rogers and Evelyn. And there'll also be a musical performance with that. Walking with Whitman is a program that we've had going on for 10 years, the 10-year anniversary. So another free event. And I was saying before, we appreciate your donations so much. I mean, $5, like as if you're buying coffee at Starbucks, means the world to us. It really does. We have these emails every week and we're like, oh my gosh, people are really responding to this. There's a whole new way for us to communicate and just spread poetry throughout, the US, even beyond. On Instagram, we have friends from Brazil all over. So thank you so much. But also just being here tonight says so much, honestly, it really does. About us, but also about the Pasca Muss family, and also just about poetry in general. You find it valuable, you find it meaningful, and it's so important to keep promoting that in your community and beyond. So thank you so much, and thank you to the Pasca Muss family for being here. And I'm gonna look at your questions now and your spirit animals as well.
Yes, definitely donate to the Walt Whitman Birthplace. We need the arts more than ever. And they're really promoting the arts even in this time of isolation. So please donate to them. And we'd love to hear your questions. If you have any questions for the boys, I mean, they're probably more interesting than Matt and I anyway. So
Well, I have a weird technical question, which is I got so much distortion when the drums were playing that I could hardly hear vocal. So I don't know.
We don't have a great amp, and we're not able to leave to buy a new one. And the drums always use the amp that we own. So in a battle between our amp and the drums, the kit always wins. On our Facebook live show, we're able to balance it a little better than on Zoom. But you'll have to join us on Sundays on Facebook to hear a less distorted version of the Green Day song.
With the Facebook events, you could actually hear better than with Zoom.
Yeah, it's another world. But Terri,
what were you gonna say?
If they want to follow you on Facebook, they would just look up your name.
Yeah, you could just look up Terri Muuss on Facebook, and I'll let you join. And then I put the even if we're not friends on Facebook, I make our isolation shows a public event. So after they run live, I put them on the page so that people can watch them later in syndication. And I make them public so anybody could share them and anybody can view them.
Okay, perfect.
I belong to a barbershop chorus, and we had a problem with hearing each other on Zoom. But when we turned off the video, it became less distorted and much clearer. Have you ever tried that?
No, I mean, we're feeling our way through this. We're not, I think the main takeaway for us is that we're really jumping into a deep end of a pool for us. We're not musicians. We're not roadies. We're not technologically savvy. We're doing, we're a family making music to try to help people stay connected to music, to art, to love, to community. I think that's our goal, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the audio is clearer, I think, if the video is turned off, that's all.
So I have two questions here. One of them is, which one of you is the taskmaster in rehearsals?
I know the answer.
Well, she's been a theater director for 25 years. So.
You have this ready.
I mean, it's hard for any of us three to do it. Like we don't have experience with that.
Like directing.
It's definitely me.
Definitely mom.
For better or for worse, I'm the taskmaster. I try to be nice about it, but sometimes.
I oversee a lot of the song selection because I think I have a decent sense of what's going to work and what isn't. Partly in terms of what we're able to play and what we're not able to play. So I usually, put together some set list options, and then we all talk about them. And then the boys contribute their own for their solo pieces.
Yeah. So there's a new road. The poem about Rainer was outstanding. Can you talk about that? Rainer, I don't get sarcasm too. I'm called the joke ruiner.
Yeah.
So Rainer's a very, a lot of people would not even know he's on the spectrum. He's had a lot of early intervention as a young person. We had someone in our house 3 days a week for months, for 4 hours at a time, teaching him about reciprocal conversation and helping him work on eye contact and organization and understanding sarcasm and metaphor. And really what we were doing was we weren't trying to change who he is neurobiologically. We love who he is. He teaches me how to see the world in a different, complex way. But rather, it's like if you're someone on the spectrum, it's like you speak a different language in a lot of ways. And so we were trying to get him to understand neurotypical's language so that he could speak the native language of the country he lives in, but also trying to learn him too. So it's a give and take where we're trying to understand how he thinks and we're asking him to understand. I mean, I'm really probably the only neurotypical person in this family. So I'm really outnumbered here. They're all like, talking about how they remember what we did 3 years ago on this day and what we ate. Because that's memory. So I'm kind of outnumbered, but I really I learn from these beautiful neurodiverse humans all the time. So I don't know, how do you feel about me doing a poem about you?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the way that you give a voice to people like me.
So we have
What are the Sunday?
Yes.
Sunday events? Okay, Rainer, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So every Sunday we've been doing something called the Isolation Show, the Pasca Isolation Show. We've done 9 of them. And this was like a greatest hits of all of them. So if you go on Mom's, Terri Muuss's Facebook, she live streams every Sunday at 2, and we do a new isolation show.
It's boot camp here. We have like a week to learn a bunch of songs. And again, we're not musicians, so it's really like homeschooling on steroids. You know, we're all like homeschooling each other. Atticus is teaching me percussive things with egg shakers, and Rainer's teaching himself keyboard, and Atticus is taking keyboard lessons, and Matt's learning new chords on the guitar. And we're like, we give ourselves a break of, Sunday we perform, Monday we're off, we're dark on Monday. Tuesday we're already starting to think, what songs are we gonna do? And we're practicing them to the best of our ability, and then throwing them into the arena, whether they're good or not, whether they're polished or not. And
I think it's important for kids to see their parents not know what they're doing. They get to see us fumble through things as well, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time on the guitar until I figure it out, and they watch us try to figure out harmonies, and it takes us a while. And I think it's important for kids to watch parents struggle, like not in a really dysfunctional way, but just to try and figure things out the way that they have to.
And they teach us sometimes. Sometimes Rainer's like, Dad, you're a little flat, or you're coming in late on that. And Atticus will say, Rainer, you're behind on that. You're lagging. You're pulling us back. I might be the taskmaster, but it's a democracy. We're all giving each other notes all the time. So, wait, Matt, I can't see.
Yeah. So there was a question that already passed, but that was Julianne asked if the lyric about $1 billion could be given if they promise not to. Dad writes the lyrics.
Lens of my camera.
Yeah, we would. We'd be happy to share those lyrics with you. I'm sure the balance. Maybe we should have mic'd ourselves for that one, but again, we're feeling our way through the first Zoom thing, but there, it's really all the things we wish we could give people, like a delivery to Peapod, and a free COVID testing, and health insurance for everyone. So it's just our little statement about what people
I see one that I could easily answer right now.
Okay, go ahead.
What drummers are my inspiration? Well, to be very fair, I have a lot of inspirations. Some being one, actually the drummer for Green Day. Trey Cool. And actually, Trey is a French word that, if I'm not mistaken, actually means cool. So his name is Cool. So yeah, he's an inspiration. I'm also really fond of Dave Grohl, John Bonham, Keith Moon, although he's a kind of bit crazy. But my biggest inspiration is Neil Peart from Rush. He's, in my opinion, the best drummer of all time. And he just happened to pass away in January of this year. And I was really upset, partly because I had a gig based on Rush music that Saturday. So I was kind of like, oh no. But it kind of, at the same time, gave me an excuse to, play as best as I could in honor for him. And now I really have, I really see Neil Peart as a big inspiration for me.
And rappers.
Yes, Eminem has been my favorite rapper since I was a little kid. Macklemore also, and no one can deny how legendary people like Tupac, Biggie, Nas are. And you know, they're all really big inspirations for me. It's really this huge melting pot of different rappers who are all inspirations to me. I'm trying to keep up with all these questions.
And someone wanted to know how to get Rainer's music.
Yes, it's on every streaming service. So iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, every single thing you can think of, it's on there.
But his rapper name is Capital. He didn't tell you the important information. Yes. Capital, Capitol.
Yes.
Like is his rapper name.
Like the Capitol building, not like a capital of a country.
That's right, Capitol. So you can find him on Instagram and Facebook, but his songs, there are 3 that have been released. Soft Serve, Glitching, and Electro.
Those are the only 3 singles from the album, and then the album is going to be able to be pre-ordered June 26th, and is going to be able to be bought. Is being released July 3rd.
And on his YouTube channel, he has conceived and filmed and edited 2 music videos that are really, really cool.
One of which I star in it,
yes.
So I'm really happy.
So why don't we do one encore for you, and then we love you all, so we're going to do one encore.
We got one more question.
What was the
from
one?
Malcolm. Do we have to? Are you able to transpose your songs, or do you have to do them in the original keys?
We transpose
a lot.
We transpose a lot because I got a low voice.
Yeah.
Rainer's got an amazing range, but I don't. So
I'm a bit squished.
You're squished. All right, we're going to do our best here. All right, so we're going to leave you with a Beatles song, something that we hope inspires you. And we love you all. We hope that you stay healthy and safe, and please donate your money if you have it, and even $5, $3, to the Walt Whitman Birthplace Association. I know Caitlin will put the link on the messages here, but also on the YouTube video and on their page. So we love you all. Thank you for your questions and for tuning in for our crazy family jamboree, our Partridge family-like jamboree. So here we go.
When I find myself in times of trouble,
Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
and in my hour of darkness, she is
Standing right in front of me, speaking.
What are you doing? Stop it.
Let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be.
And when the broken-hearted people
living in the world agree, there will be an answer. Let it be.
For though they may be parted, there is
Still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer. Let it be. 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 There will be an answer. Let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be.
And when the night is cloudy, there is
Still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow. Let it be.
I wake up to the sound of music.
Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be.
Let it be.
Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be.
Let it be.
Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be.
Let it be.
Let it be.
Let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
We love you all. I hope that in this time of crazy isolation, you find some peace and love and community where you can find it. If you can find it with us, that's great. And if you can't, then I hope you find it with other people, because we need each other and we need the arts. And we love you all. Thank you so
for being
much.
with us.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. I'm going to miss having you with us every week, though. Seriously.
Thank you so much.